Okay, so here's another couple of really good finance questions from 2015. And remember that this particular module back then was non-compulsory. Okay, so students actually selected to do this module. Now it's compulsory, but the old questions still are really relevant to the new study design. So let's check them out. Question 8 was hard. 33% of the state got this one right. So Cindy took out a reducing balance loan. Okay, so that's of interest to us. It's a loan, so she's borrowing that from the bank. That's the amount. Interest was charged at a rate of 9% per annum, compounding quarterly. Loan to be fully repaid in 6 years, equal quarterly payments. After 3 years, Cindy will have reduced the balance of her loan by approximately. Okay, and we've got a percentage here. All right, well, first of all, what don't we know? Okay, so let's start filling in the bits and pieces. So we got N, I%, PV, PMT, the future value, PPY, and CPY. Okay, so let's see what we've actually got first of all. Okay, so what we do know is that she's got a reducing balance loan. So we know the present value. Okay, and remember the sign convention. Positive means we give, bank gives us the money. Okay, and negative means we give the bank money. Okay, so because this is a loan, this is bank gives, so the PV is 8,400 and it's positive. All right, we know the rate, which is 9%. Now, we've got sort of some confusion here over the loan because it's 6 years here and after 3 years, okay? But to work out how much she'll have reduced the balance of her loan by, what we do actually need to know is the payments, and we don't know what the payments are yet. So actually the payments are going to be the unknown. The future value is the loan is going to be repaid in 6 years, so let's go 0 and do 6 lots of 4 payments, so 6 years worth of 4-quarter payments. And the PPY is 4 and the CPY is 4. So payments per year is 4 and compounds per year is 4. Okay, so let's work this one out. So we go over to the calculator, whoops, not graphs, control doc, and calculator, and we want menu 8 and financial solver. So we got 6 times 4, we've got 8,400. Payments are what we don't know. Future value is still, or is the default, 0, and CPY is 0. Okay, so let's get a future value on this. No, not a future value. That is 0, and payments is the unknown. So let's get the payments. Okay, so it's negative 456.79, and it's negative. Negative means we give them to the bank. So this amount makes sense. So let's just note this down, that the payments are going to be $456.79. All right, now what we're going to do is, we know that these must be the payments that she's using. Okay, so now we can actually reapply this to this, and what we're going to grab is the future value after 3 years. We're going to see how much she's actually paid down the loan by. Okay, so we're going to use a new version of this, but instead of using 6x4, we're going to look at the state of play after 3 lots of 4, 3 years. Interest rate's the same. Present value is what we're starting with. Now we know the payments, negative 456.79. We don't know what the future value is. Those are both still 4 and 4. So let's use that amount there. What we're going to do is say that the future value is unknown based on 3 lots of 4 payments. Okay, so this is basically saying that after 3 years, what we're going to owe is $4,757.46. That's how much we still owe. Okay, so the question here is, after 3 years, Cindy will have reduced the balance of her loan by approximately. Okay, so basically what she has done is, that's how much she owes. What we need to do is work out the reduction. Okay, now that's what she started with. So if we do 8,400 subtract this amount here, that'll give us the reduction. And then what we're going to do is by what percentage. So we want to do it over how much she actually borrowed, which is 8,400. So let's get out a financial solver now and let's do it. We've got 8,400 take away 4757.46, and we're going to divide that by 8,400, and then we're going to multiply that by 100 to convert it to a percentage. 43.3, or approximately 43%. Okay, so an incredible amount of work to get the full marks for that one. Okay, now for question 9, and the state did it marginally better on this one, and I do think it's a little bit more accessible, but let's work it through. All right, what we got is Ravi borrowing 160,000, interest rate 6.18. Interest is calculated monthly on the reducing balance. The loan will be fully repaid with monthly payments of that amount there. And what we're looking for is which statement is not true. So basically on this question, I think the best strategy actually, rather than trying to work out which is the correct response, is we really do need to rule out the incorrect responses and see what's left over. Okay, so let's go through them one at a time and see if we can knock out a couple of options. So let's see, his first payment reduces the loan by less than $1,950. Well, we know that that is true. Okay, because when I pay down a loan, okay, and if I pay off $1,950 of the $160,000 that I borrowed, of course I'm not going to pay off $1,950 because the bank is charging me interest. Okay, so in effect what I'm going to do is not pay off exactly $1,950, but it's going to be less than that. So that's option A out. All right, his second payment reduces the loan by more than the first payment. Now, if you know anything about amortization tables, and I recommend you learn how these tables work, you'll know that this has to be true. On a reducing balance loan, what happens is the interest gets charged on the reducing balance of the loan. Okay, so at the end of the first month, I'll owe less than $160,000. Okay, and then they charge me interest on that. And what basically happens is the amount of interest I have to pay will go down each month. Okay, and ultimately when you start to really get stuck into the loan and obliterate it, the interest is going to be smaller and smaller until at the end of the loan it's fairly negligible. Alright, so now we're down to 3. Repaying more than $1,950 per month will reduce the term of the loan. Again, if you know anything about loans, that one's easy. Okay, basically, if you understand, the more you pay off, the smaller amount of time you're going to have to pay back the loan. It just makes perfect sense. Okay. Alright, so now we're down to D and E. Okay, so very quickly, if you understand how reducing balance loans work and amortization tables, A, B and C, they're no-brainers, they're gone. His final payment will be less than $1,760. Okay, well, we're going to have to do a bit of work to find out what this is. Okay, so the fact that they've got final payment means that, you know, we sort of got to think, well, let's kind of work this out. Okay, and see what happens. So what we're going to do is go over to Financial Solver again. So I'll go and start a new document, and it's a calculator, and we're going to go menu 8 to get into Financial Solver. Alright, so what we're going to do is look at the term of the loan, so how long it goes for, and it doesn't say, so that's unknown. We do have an interest rate, 6.18% per annum. The present value, the amount the bank gave us, was $160,000. My payments that I gave the bank were $1,950. And I'm going to fully repay the loan, and it compounds monthly. Okay, so 12 and 12. Alright, so what we're going to do is work out how long this is going to take us. Excuse me. And this says that it's going to take us 106.9 payments, so almost 107 payments. Okay, so now what we can see is this last payment is 0.9 of this amount here. Okay, but we've got to be careful because they do charge interest. What I tend to do when it comes to this is, now what I'm going to do is actually replace this with 107. Okay, so I'm going to say that this is going to take me 107 payments in total. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to actually overpay the loan now. Okay, so what will happen on the future value here is I'm going to get a positive amount, which basically is saying, in a sense, that the bank is going to give me some change. All right, now see if you can see what's going to happen here. All right, so it says that under these conditions, the future value of the loan will be 181.05 over the amount that I need to repay back. That is, I've paid back $181.05 too much. Okay, so I'm going to note that figure down here, 181.05. Okay, and what I'm actually going to do with that then is, because I overpay it by that much, what the bank will do is they'll say, hey, on the last repayment, which is $1,950, we're going to remove that amount from it, and that'll terminate the loan. Okay, so what you would do then is, in your main screen, just do 1950 take away 181.05. 168.95. Okay, so that's what my last payment's going to be. His final payment will be less than 1,760. Okay, and that is, according to this, false. Okay, I was tying myself up in knots here, and these are not true questions, so I've just paused the video and then come back now. His final payment will be less than 1760. Well, of course, we found out that the final payment is that. Okay, so that's false. Okay, so which one of the following statements is not true? That's not true. Okay, and the reason for that is his final payment does include interest. Okay, and again, if you go on amortization tables, you'll know that what you have to do on the final payment is charge interest. Okay, so that's true. So for this question here, it's just absolutely crucial that you know how amortization tables work, because basically you'll be able to knock out A, B, and E straight away if you understand the basics of those. So there's two pretty tricky questions there, and even I sort of got myself tied up in knots a bit over that question 9. But look, work hard at these ones, work hard at the understanding, and if you can start to understand and answer these ones here, you're doing really well.